The new sweet-handling Mustang IIs are more Mustang than ever, with a package of handling features no other domestic car in its class offers. 4 on the floor, front disc brakes, staggered shocks, wide stance, and rack and pinion steering, all standard on every Mustang.
Over the generations, the Mustang has been immortalized in car culture. We're going to ignore the Mach-E because, well, let's be honest, that's not a Mustang. One generation of the Mustang gets an undeserved amount of hate, that being the Mustang II. Look, I know it's not the prettiest of cars or super powerful, but give me a small chunk of your time, and by the end of it, you'll have a new appreciation of this downtrodden Mustang. The first generation Mustang was undoubtedly a hit. However, by the early 1970s, the pony car market saw a nosedive in sales. The oil crisis wasn't helping, nor was the fact that the 1974 Mustang had become larger than the original model. The Big Three had begun to receive vibrations from the only source it really listens to, which is new car buyers. The message was, build smaller cars. As customers stopped buying, and the inventory of unsold new cars climbed during the summer of 1973, and there were already positive market expectations for the new downsized Mustang. Originally, Ford planned to base the Mustang II off the Maverick. In the end, they decided to base it off the blazing hot Pinto, pun intended by the way. With this change, the competition of the Mustang pivoted to that of the more sporty subcompact cars of GM like the Buick Skyhawk and the Oldsmobile Starfire. Lee Iacocca expected a high level of fit and finish for the Mustang II, wanting the car to be a little jewel. The Mustang II was a trendsetter of sorts. Of the Big Three, it was the first pony car to downsize. Meanwhile, GM and Chrysler had thoughts of discontinuing their competitors to the Mustang. Regardless, by 2002, the Mustang achieved that anyway. In 1974, Motor Trend named the Mustang II the car of the year. The Mustang II sold 1.1 million units while being in production for 4 years. However, performance at this time was frankly non-existent.
Here's the exciting Mach 1. The sporty 2+2.
Not that it was present with GM or Chrysler during these times. In 1974, the Mustang was so down bad that a V8 wasn't even an option. Thankfully, this was the only time in its history to have that happen. You know, I wish I could travel back in time and hear what people had to say about that. Imagine Twitter and TikTok back then. Actually, you know what? Never mind. The V8 was brought back for the 1975 model year. Thank God. The car had to be re-engineered to fit in the 302 engine. The 302 had a 2-barrel carburetor and an earth-shattering, hold on to your hats here, 140 horsepower. Then, a year later, the infamous Cobra II was born. Yes, the Cobra.
The sweet-handling Mustang II Cobras. No other domestic car in its class gives you all this standard. Spoilers, stabilizer bars, staggered shocks, rack and pinion steering, steel-belted radials, and 4 on the floor.
But it was just an appearance package. No upgrade in performance or anything insane. However, it was popular with the public and named an instant success by Consumer Guide. In the final year of the Mustang II, Ford one-upped themselves with introducing a rare model called the King Cobra. Only 4,313 of these bad boys were ever made. The King Cobra was available with only a V8. That's a very good change from 1974. Unfortunately, emissions would stifle the output of this 302 it was powered by, putting out just 139 horsepower and an insanely fast 0 to 60 time of 8.9 seconds, which is a far cry of the 1969 Mach 1 0 to 60 of 5.7 seconds. However, it sold well and is still a cultural icon due to featuring in multiple Forza games. So you've heard all about the numbers and jazz, but let's dive into why this car deserves praise.
Sweet handling car, Mustang II, put one between the road and you.
As stated before, this car was introduced during difficult economic times and the oil crisis, lovingly known as the Malaise era. The automotive editor of Mustang Monthly magazine describes the Mustang II as, "The Mustang II was the right car at the right time to keep the legend going into the future." The automaker noted that the Mustang II has been maligned by hardcore pony car fans as the black sheep of the family almost since it went on sale. But without the new direction forged by the Mustang II, Ford almost certainly wouldn't be celebrating 50 years of the Mustang today. And I have to agree. It might not have been an earth-shattering powerhouse of its older brother, but I believe without the Mustang II, the Mustang wouldn't be here at all, kind of like the Camaro and the Challenger. And with that, stay hydrated, take care of yourself and your loved ones, and peace.